We just landed on the moon in the Lambo, taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo, taking pictures with the zoom and the angle.
Hey guys, this is Viking back here with another video. Today we got a special guest. We got Crypto Secret Circle. Can't wait to dive into this one, guys. This one's going to be a special one. So here's our Crypto Secret Circle. I'll let him give you a little bit of an introduction, and we'll go from there.
Hey guys, it's good to be here on your channel, Dustin. Thank you for letting me on. Yeah, I've been in the space since 2016. Early on, what got me into crypto was privacy features. And, first coin I bought was like Bitcoin, Litecoin, of course, probably like many other people. And kind of evolved to buying Verge. At the time, it was Dogecoin Dark, and went down the rabbit hole. And, then just went from there. But yeah, I've made a lot of really great plays. Was early investor in Matic. I would say, more recent, really big plays. Matic. I was one of the first Matic Mitras to hit the scene, and was behind Quick in that huge run up. It was like over 500x. I basically work for LDA. I'm in the work full time in the space, and like kind of like a ghost behind many projects now. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So so let me ask you. So I heard you say you're pro privacy at first. Like, what's your take on that? Because it's just like everything else. They always say they're going to ban stuff, and it never happens.
Right. Yeah, I think that a lot of what you hear is, I feel like if you could just sum it up into one small saying, there's news for the masses and news for the classes. And I think a lot of what we hear in crypto news is, irrelevant. I think that right now there is a lot of flood against privacy type projects, but soon you're going to get this realization from regulators and the whole crypto space in general. And everyone's going to realize that privacy features are needed for all projects. And this is similar to what happened in the evolution of the internet itself. For instance, before HTTPS, which is kind of like a encrypted layer of the internet, hackers were able to kind of like see all your transactions and kind of while you're moving through the internet. And then the government didn't want to have like this encrypted layer. And then soon the government realized that people were getting hurt because they didn't have an encrypted layer. And then, HTTPS came about, and so I think it's going to be very similar. And you realize that there's so many different projects that have privacy kind of on the back burner at the moment because of the exchanges that are delisting privacy coins and all this. But really, in the future, I think all projects will have a layer of privacy. I think even Bitcoin will. I believe I read an article recently talking about how, I think it's called Taproot or something like that. Mm-hmm. But everything's going to have it, and mainly because you even look at like big players or companies, institutions, they're not going to want everyone to see every movement that they're making for many financial reasons and strategic reasons. So I think privacy is a huge part of crypto, and will become very mainstream in the future again.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's needed, it's just one of those things, it's just, I mean, who doesn't like to have their own privacy?
Exactly.
Very, very simple thing. And also congratulations on Matic, by the way. That was it's definitely a good one. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I was heavily integrated in the Cardano community back in like 2018, and then I saw Matic, and a lot of, you know, nothing against Cardano, because I think it's, you know, going to have its place. Just like I'm not like a maximalist by any sense, and I believe in the like internet of blockchains, you know, all working in unison, trading information and value. But once I saw Matic, I was really like, you know, because in the Cardano community, we're kind of told, or we were told, that there's not going to be, you know, it's only Cardano. Cardano is only the future. And then, you know, Ethereum can't scale and all these kind of things. I found Matic, I read the white paper, I looked at what they were doing, and from a technical standpoint, and I was like, well, looks like Ethereum is going to scale. And immediately I knew it was, you know, the future of Ethereum, at least for the foreseeable future. So I was happy to be very early on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I actually, you know, I got in as well. So I have a funny story about that. So,
What happened with you, man?
oh man. So I was in Matic. I had a good bit, right? Went to go stake my Matic. Got hung up by one character on a scam website, and they wiped my MetaMask wallet clean within 24 hours. And because we couldn't, for whatever reason, it said the wallet was not connecting to the site, and I was trying to, you know, even Vishal from Matic was trying to help me get it hooked up. And he's like, he didn't even see, he didn't even catch it either. You know, it was one of those freak things that he didn't understand what was going on. And then later, I don't know, maybe like 8 hours later, I'm looking around, and he messaged me about something, and he ended up saying something. He was like, "Hey man, I think you clicked on a scam link." And I'm like, "Oh man." So I'm like, okay, so, you know, everything was still there at that point, and I was like, well, you know, my crypto's still there. We tried to hook it to the real one. Would not connect. And then I wake up the next morning and all my Matic's gone and my Ethereum.
Whoa.
Yep.
Wow. That's horrible, man.
Yeah. But hey, it is what it is, you know. I mean, that's I guess, you know, I took it as a learning experience. Just got to, you know. You can't beat yourself up too much, you know.
Yeah. Especially with like using new technologies. I mean, it's like wild, wild west.
Right. But I will say, you know, there's some good that did come out of it, because then after that I started learning TA. And then, you know, so I started learning TA. I was like, man, I gotta do something, you know. So that, and I was kind of getting bored, really, just holding, because, you know, I've only been in since about August of 2018. It's almost 3 years now.
Nice.
And so I was pretty much, you know, buying on the back end of the bull market.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I was able to buy the bottom of the bear market, which was nice. But
yeah, perfect entry 2018. That was like some of the best prices right there, lows.
Yeah, on some of them. And then what was it, March of 2019, I think it was, I want to say, if I remember correctly, we had that, or wait, no, it was 2020, I think. We had that capitulation phase.
Oh yeah, last year.
Yeah, and everything, I think, what was it, XRP went to 11 cents, 10 cents, 9 cents, somewhere right around there. Mm-hmm. There was a bunch of stuff. I mean, everything hit the floor. Matic, or VeChain went all the way back down to like 0.0018. Like it was insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people, you know, they get upset because they see that the market is just passed them up, and they think, you know, there's never going to be another opportunity. But the market usually always gives more opportunities to launch back into it. So it's like,
Monkey.
you know, like I'm really against kind of like buying things at higher levels, generally speaking, because I'm more of like a value investor. So realizing that, you know, big pullbacks always come, they just always do. It doesn't matter, you know, if institutions are in or not, but you know, you can have a stronger market, but you're probably going to get a big pullback. So just wait for that pullback, because it, you know, it's going to come at some point. And you know, like March of last year, like, you know, what we're going through now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty crazy out there right now. Pretty crazy out there. But you know, hey, it is what it is. I mean, there's what I think the last cycle I was just kind of going through, and I think we had 6 of these pullbacks. I mean, not to this magnitude, you know, not to these levels, but like we had 6, you know, 35 to 40, 50% pullbacks. We had like 6 of them last bull run.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, we'll have more opportunities for sure.
Do you mind if I show my screen kind of?
Absolutely, go for it, man.
Cool. Because I know we were kind of talking about this before, and
Yep.
this is kind of like what I think you know, we could be going. Let's see. So recently in a video about a month ago, I was talking about how 64K could be about the top, and I kind of found that by taking a down fib of the last high in 2017 to the low, and the projection at that time, the next resistance level was right about 64K, and we were, you know, this was right before. I didn't imagine that we'd move down so quickly, to be honest, but I did know that it would more than likely be a major resistance there. And now what I'm looking at, just to keep it real high level, is that, you know, we have this major support here, and that you see this blue line here, it actually coincides directly with 30K. It also, you know, kind of has some support here from the last candles that printed back in December and January of last year, this year. So if we bounce from here, if we drive down again to 30K, we bounce, get some good volume, make a higher high, I think we have a really good chance of moving up. I think we'd have to monitor the market to see, you know, where we go from there. But if we break below this 30K support, I think the next support, major support, is actually the top of the last cycle, and that's 20K. So your bullish and bearish scenarios right there. You know, if I had to guess though, moving down to the daily, you know, we're so oversold on everything. If we did make another drive down to 30K, I think we would bounce here. I just don't know exactly how well. Though one thing that we didn't get to talk about on like before we jumped on, is that I've been posting a lot about how I know that there's like this annual kind of like earnings report type thing with Facebook, which is happening on the 26th. And there's some really, like, the rumblings, like I'm in some well groups and stuff, the rumblings are kind of suggesting that there's a possibility that Facebook may talk about, you know, integration or you know, adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet. That's on the 26th, and you know, that could kind of, it could be, you know, where we come down to 30K and we bounce real heavily, and then Facebook brings us out, or, you know, even if it's not Facebook, it could be like Google or a large player. But just something interesting, you know, you always like buy the rumor, sell the news. So this is a rumor that's going around.
Right. That's actually really interesting, right? So kind of off subject, but not really. Funny thing is, and this isn't like any moon boy stuff or anything, this is This is, I don't know. I've been kind of hearing some things like this. It's been really weird. So we have an eclipse coming up, right?
Hmm.
And we also, it's funny you say the 26th because the 26th is a full moon.
Interesting.
It's not, you know what I mean? Like not trying to like go there, but like that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think like, you know, I'm not like I don't know what the word is, like I'm not like too big on like full moons, but what I will say
Right.
is that I do believe like in the that a lot of elites and these kind of like really powerful people in the world do put a lot of sway on full moons, and you know, they take the stars and all these kind of things into account. So it doesn't matter what I think, you know, if
Right.
you know, if other people, and especially big players, do put a lot of sway, it is something to take into consideration, you know. So
Right.
I think it's a valid point you're bringing up. You know, full moon, yeah, you never know what could happen on a full moon.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting, man. Because I just started hearing stuff about this. I don't know, maybe like 5, 6, 7 days ago, about how eclipses and full moons and stuff like that mess with markets, and I'm like, what? I'm like, that's interesting, and then now that you bring that up, it's like 26 is a full moon. That's really interesting. So
Yeah,
I had to bring that up.
that's pretty interesting. I would like to take that rabbit hole sometime.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
I mean, I used to work in the medical field, and full moons were like the worst, like for the ER and all that. So there has to be some kind of, you know,
Oh yeah,
uh,
has to
yeah,
be some kind of correlation somewhere. Maybe it's a frequency thing. I don't know,
mm,
but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
that's
Pretty,
cool, man.
yeah, for sure. Um,
So what do you think about the market, or like,
well, so until I'll be honest, man, until I talked to you, I was pretty bearish, man. I was pretty bearish. Like we were talking. I showed you the chart, or what? I showed you we went over historicals or whatever, and we never got a 21. Never got a weekly close below the 21 in a bull market in the history until this week. But then again, I mean, you brought up some really, really valid points and stuff, and I'll be honest, man, you have more experience than me, so it definitely makes me feel a lot better.
yeah, I mean, fundamentally, there's not too much different for Bitcoin, and you know, as they say, um, you know, history, you know, doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but it, you know, it may rhyme. So I mean, I'm wondering if this is, you know, a rhyme instead of, you know, a close or a bounce off the 21. You know, now it's going to be, because of how much money and influences in the market, you know, could be a whole lot more volatile within a bull market, possibly. You know, if we bounce off the 50-week average, is that the new normal or whatever? You know, who knows? I mean, 2020 was like a huge change for many things, you know, within history. So you know, is this now translating into the markets and the way that they're papering over, you know, so many different things, you know, the big banks and all that. So, you know, who knows, you know, now what the new normal is going to be like.
Yeah, no, and then that's another great point too. I mean, like you said it best, man. There's so many things that have changed over the last 12 months that I mean, why couldn't this? Why couldn't the chart a little? And it's not. It's just a blip on the radar. It's not like we went down to like 14,000 or anything like that.
Yeah.
If we did that, we'd be probably having a way different conversation. But
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I definitely appreciate your outlook for sure, and respect your outlook for sure, man.
Yeah, and I really respect yours as well, because I also agree with, you know, 'cause this is kind of like what we were talking about beforehand. You were saying that it does look bearish from a technical standpoint, and it does. You know, we're making lower highs. We closed underneath the 21. Until we make a higher high, you know, it's hard to be actually bullish, though we know there is some support.
Right.
You're right, though. You know, it is definitely a time to be cautious, but you know, for me, I'm kind of a swing for the fences guy sometimes, and you know, seeing that there is some support there, I'll probably make some trades at 30K if we get that drive one more time and we actually bounce there, not break through it. If we break through it, like even see a 29 or 28K, even if we bounce there, I'm still going to be overall bearish. If we literally bounce off 30K, kind of make a double bottom in a sense off that major support, I'll be putting in some buys on some altcoins, some Bitcoin, Ethereum. So yeah, well, I guess it just depends on what we see.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree, man. Because you know, a double bottom would be bullish. So I'm with you for sure, 100%. 100%. So what would you buy if we bounce?
Oh, okay. Because I want to ask you this too, because I mean we kind of met through Mac. He's, you know, an excellent guy. Really like the guy who's also you know, me and him were tied to a lot of projects since we've been around as YouTubers. Like I've been around, I think, since 2018 as a YouTuber. And my very first video was about VeChain, and I actually would watch his videos way back in the day. You know, then I kind of got more into Cardano, and then Matic. You know, like just high level. I was into mini projects, but you know. So I know we met through like Mac 007. I'm kind of getting to know you as well, and I really want to know, you know, what you're bullish on, you know, what you would also be buying, you know, what type of opportunities you're looking at. So for me though, you know, I'm thinking, depending on what could come out on the 26th, for instance, if there is a massive integration or someone's buying, you know, adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet, I would think that, you know, if it's an integration, it's probably going to be the four that everyone always hears about, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. And if it's an integration like a PayPal type thing into Facebook, or, you know, something along those lines, those would probably be the ones that really rallied the most, and Bitcoin dominance would probably take over even more. So it wouldn't be as bullish for altcoins at that point. But if the narrative is just that they added Bitcoin, it's not an integration, they just added Bitcoin to a balance sheet, a big player like that, you know, which helps us feel this balance potentially. You know, I'm just speaking theoretically, but you know, if we do get something like that, then I think that a lot of people will be looking for altcoins, because even though we've had this crash, everyone I know is still talking about, you know, what are we going to buy? What are we going to buy? So I think what I'm interested in, if I was to buy a dip, I still like Matic, because Matic to me is, it's the now. You know, all last year while I was bringing it up, when no one was looking at it, you know, for the, you know, majority of people weren't looking at it. It was what was going to be the future, but now Matic is the actual, you know, the now. Right. And there's so much speculation and usage there. So I think Matic will bounce hard if you know, Bitcoin dominance doesn't take off. And also what I'm transitioning into is in general, just interoperability plays. So you see Matic, kind of the interoperability play between Ethereum-like networks, and also between scaling solutions on Ethereum. The other big interoperability play that I'm really interested in is Cosmos and the Cosmos ecosystem. And that's because Cosmos can like directly interact with any type of crypto asset, depending, you know, it doesn't matter what type of crypto asset is, you know, ERC20, Bitcoin, XRP, and they're coming out with some really big use cases for the first time for their ecosystem that will be directly used on the Cosmos hub. So you have like Gravity DEX, which is going to be an actual interoperable type DEX with like order books and the same type of usage that you would have on like a centralized exchange. So I think Cosmos and Matic, and I'm not sponsored by these guys. I'm kind of like a guy that really, I'm not like a hardcore like YouTuber. I just do it for fun, and I just try to give everyone the best information I can give them. So, that's legitly what I think is kind of like either the now or the future, and where I'm kind of positioning. But of course, there's a bunch of other smaller plays that I'll be looking at. But I'm wondering what you think.
Well, I definitely think Matic. I like Matic a lot. For me, oh man, it's really tough because there's so many. Like there's so many right now that look very promising. And then like for me, Matic right now, it's a tough one, man. Because I think it's gonna. Do I think it's gonna go a lot higher? Yes, I do. How high? I mean, we don't know. I mean, we can't. These new coins, it's really hard to say. It really is. But I think, and I've said it from day one. I mean, like, I don't know, when I was buying it at 0.002, I said it. I think it easily could go to $10. I mean, in all reality, I mean, could it go higher? Sure, but I think $10 is a good price. But for me, all right, so.
Monkey.
Right now, man, it's a tough one. There's so many good ones. I have a lot of favorites, but
maybe like your top two, because I kind of gave a top two. There's a bunch of smaller plays. I was kind of looking at more like, just to answer the question, I gave you like my top two, like more safer altcoin plays if Bitcoin dominance doesn't take over. Maybe like what's your top one or top two?
Safe plays. Okay, I'll go one safe bag, one maybe a little higher risk.
Nice.
So I'll go Bitcoin Cash.
Okay.
That would be my safe bag.
Mm-hmm.
And my high risk would be Safe Haven.
Who?
Safe Haven.
Oh, Safe Haven. Yeah.
That would be obviously my ultra high risk, but the fundamentals are there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, price is a different story, but that can totally change. They just really need to get some massive exposure. If they got some exposure, they got themselves out there, and people actually started hearing about them, that thing, when they do, that thing is going to take off like nobody's business.
Safe Haven. So I believe from my research that Safe Haven is kind of like retirement type.
So basically it's digital inheritance plan. You set up a digital inheritance plan. You have safe keys for all your heirs, right? You have a dead man switch that's hooked to your email. So like say one of your heirs tries to withdraw their inheritance early, you'll get notified. You can be like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to take my money? So, there's a lot of things that they do. They're also, they have other smaller products as well, such as like Thor Block. It's for charity and things like that. And they're also building a safe swap right now. That's all I can really say about that. They're building a safe
utility.
Yeah, a lot of utility. The tokenomics are great. Especially, 20% of the utility once the business edition is released is going to be burnt monthly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
it's always a good.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the supply is only 8.5 billion total supply. And then also you factor in, um, you know, even years and years down the road, since Safe Haven's built on consensus protocol, they can actually, you know, they have a lot more benefits than proof of stake and proof of work. Um, so is, you know, that's obviously it's a superior technology in my opinion.
What is that about? What does that consensus mechanism really entail? Not
Um,
overly familiar with that.
well, all right. So basically, consensus, all the coins are already quote unquote pre-mined,
Okay.
so you don't have to mine for the asset, right? So they, you know, they release the supply as time goes on, you know, as per the white paper or whatever, and that's how like that's the biggest difference between proof of work, proof of stake, and you know, the cool part, they're going to be able to, with a supply like that, the tokenomics and everything, you know, once they really take off, years from now, you know, maybe like 5 years down the road, who knows? They may be trading decimals, you know,
Interesting.
could really, really be huge, especially at these prices.
Yeah, I'd have to revisit Safe Haven. But in the past, I was really interested. I think I actually made a video about it when they were doing some type of integration or partnership or collaboration with Matic.
Yep.
You know, I did visit on a video, and I talked about them because they seemed like they had a lot of fundamentally sound technology plays at the time, and that was a while ago. So definitely an interesting project. Yeah, and Bitcoin Cash, I agree with you. That would be probably a pretty good play as well, just because, you know, it's so heavily integrated in you know, anything big that's happening. You know, you look at PayPal,
Mm-hmm.
and I would imagine it would be in any other big integration that may happen in the future. So Bitcoin Cash is kind of here to stay. As an altcoin, and, you know, kind of like the you know, I know there's a big debate around the true, you know, Bitcoin and all that, you know, Bitcoin Core and all. But I actually really have always liked Bitcoin Cash, because I again, I'm not a maximalist. I'm all about internet of blockchains, you know, and everything working together. So I look at Bitcoin Cash and I go, I love Bitcoin, I really do. But Bitcoin is like that store of value, you know, that gold 2.0, and then Bitcoin Cash is honestly what's very, very close, if not the closest to being like the actual cryptocurrency, the, you know, the peer-to-peer cash for the world, you know, digital cash for the world, fast transactions. So yeah, I think that's a good play. Though it's interesting that you have Elon Musk talking about how he wants to upgrade and get devs on board with Doge.
Right.
And, you know, if they could put a cap on that, on the supply of Doge, and upgrade the network and a couple other things, you know, that could almost be, because it's a fork of Litecoin, Doge is, you could see that competing with Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin in the future. So,
Oh yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it is, man. You know, there's actually one other one I really want to mention too, because it was so close for me. I don't know if you ever heard of the project, but IoTex.
I actually have heard of the project. It's like IoT type project.
Yeah, it's Internet of Things. They basically what they wanted, their goal is basically making everyday people's data private, and if you choose, you know, eventually to monetize it, you can. That's basically a very small definition, because I tell you what, over this past 12 months, they have done a lot of things, like a lot. Like actually, just recently, one of their partners, well, they just partnered with Matic too, actually, not too long ago. Well, Polygon as well, but they're one of their partners actually just signed a contract for the United States Navy for medical supplies and for supply chain management and to make the data private. So that's very, very interesting as well. But yeah, I really, really believe in them in the future too, because they're doing a lot of stuff as well. And you know, I do talk to Larry, the business developer, and that dude's on top of it, man. That dude, he's one hard-working guy in the crypto space for sure, and yeah, super cool guy. He's the business developer over there, but and I'm not sponsored by them either, so just you know, I'm not sponsored by anybody. You know, I'm a small little channel, man. Like you said, just trying to get some good information to people and not feed them a bunch of crap like a lot of other people.
Yeah.
It's already enough going around.
Yeah, it's good, man. And I mean, now that we even have this talk, it's you know, kind of off topic, but you know, I work with LDA. We're a marketing consultancy firm, so I'll have to keep you in mind for projects as well, you know, for marketing in the future. But if you're even interested in that, but yeah, man. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, I'll say, yeah, man. You never know. I mean, definitely. I'm always up for things, learning new things. That's the main goal, man. Is I always try to keep learning because the space changes so fast. If you don't keep up with it, you'll get left behind.
Yeah, that's 100% true. And that's why I'm always pivoting as well. I mean, like, I did really well with Matic, but it's like, you know, it was going to be the future. It's the now. And what I'm looking now at, I'm in current transition of my portfolio and like where I'm looking, because I know that, you know, like you were saying a little while ago, how much higher can Matic go? You know, you look at it, even if it hit a $10 price point, that's only a 10x.
Right.
Well, it's not the biggest in returns, but yeah, I could see $10 in if this bull run persists. But also, like, it's the now. So what's the next thing that's going to be the future that's currently undervalued that no one's talking about? Not no one, but you know, like very little people are. So I'm also in transition and looking and always on the search for the best, not only to give to, you know, the audience that I have, but also, you know, to invest in.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Man, I definitely would love to do another one eventually again if you're up for it, man, because
yeah,
I really enjoyed this for sure.
Do you want to stop recording?
Whatever if you have more to share, man, go for it.
Yeah, I actually have to go, but yeah, man, I you know, I guess like closing thoughts, you know, never give up on the future of money. This is definitely, you know, the space and the technology that's going to at least run parallel with all existing technologies. I think there was a saying that I saw that hit me so hard recently, which is, you know, the internet was the technology that helped the entire world move information or data seamlessly, and now blockchain is the technology that's going to help transmit and move value seamlessly, you know. So this is definitely a technology that's here to stay. And if you're looking at projects that are fundamentally sound and, you know, really have real value and you know, like the technology will have a lot of utility, or has a lot of utility, then, you know, it's a gold mine potentially for the future. So I'm really big on the space, whether we go down or not, you know, into some type of bear market, officially, you know, bear market. I will still be, you know, heavily integrated in this space. So That would be my
Absolutely.
thoughts.
Nice, nice. Yeah, man. That's, you know, same here. I mean, I'm not. There's always a next time. You know, there's always a next time, and that's like you said. You said it best earlier when you said, you know, you're a value investor. You're always going to find, no matter what. And I found this too, you know, through my short time in crypto compared to you and a lot of other people here, that you're always gonna have those nice corrections and opportunities to buy at a lower price, you know. So if you see something, you know, going sky high, don't chase it. Find something else. There's something else out there that hasn't went yet, you know.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you really want to buy that project, just wait for the correction, you know.
And it's crazy because like even people that bought Bitcoin at 20K, I mean, if they held it till now, they're in profit, you know. So
Right.
even people that were buying the dips, you know, there's many strategies you can take. But even the people that were buying the dips and like hating themselves because it kept going lower in 2018 and 19, you know, a lot of these guys in projects like Cardano and XRP and Bitcoin Cash, you know, or, you know, mainly like projects that have had higher highs now, you see that they still did well for themselves. You know, I know guys that were buying XRP like in 2000, I think it was 2018, you know, after it went plus $3 and then it came down, and I think it was like around 60 and 30 cents. You know, they were buying all these dips, and then come this year, and you know, you're seeing like a $2 XRP or plus $2 Cardano, and people were buying it, at Cardano at 40 cents and 20 cents and 10 cents, and they're still profitable. So if you're in something fundamentally sound, potentially even these dip buys, and things, just don't beat yourself up too much, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. Absolutely, man. Well, once again, man, I want to thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Hope we can do this again for sure, because I definitely enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah, it was a good talk, man. I really, thanks for inviting me here and letting me on your show. And I would love to have another conversation with you, man.
Absolutely. All right, brother. We'll see you in the next one.
All right, take it easy, bro.